Hey, it's Scotty G here for the next episode of Scotty G's Pod Spot. Hey, and before I forget, as I have done in the past, thank you to our sponsor, Blind Tiger Spirit Cocktails, the best crafted non-alcoholic cocktails out there today on the market. And I think if I just read it on LinkedIn, they just expanded into Florida. So they are expanding into multiple states. They're on Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. They're going everywhere. They're exploding. I love the way that their graph, their sales chart just keeps going up and up. So thank you to them for sponsoring my the Scotty G Pod Spot. Also, I started this a few episodes ago because I have so many funny and interesting t-shirts. We have to have our shirt of the day on the Pod Spot also. So this one is Project Manager, because Miracle Worker isn't an official job title. That was given to me by one of my coworkers because of all the miracles I performed on projects in my almost 40-year career in the corporate world, which thank God I'm out of now, doing entertainment and much more fun stuff. And actually, I was going to tell you a story about a project, but you know what? It's New Year's Eve. Let's keep it positive. So, not going to whine. No whining here, unless I'm stepping on grapes and making wine. That's the only kind of whining we want to do. Okay, Happy New Year, by the way, from Scotty G. I've got a show coming up this Saturday, January 3rd at the Franklin VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars Lodge in Franklin, Pennsylvania. So Craig Baxter is opening for me. Very funny gentleman that will give you a unique perspective on life. So come see Craig and I at the VFW. You have to be a member. It's a free show. Free show paid for by the Franklin VFW. You just have to be a member to get in, or be a guest of a member. So if you hang out in the parking lot outside and become fast friends with one of the members, they can sign you in and you can come see the show for free. Or, hey, you can get a membership for $35 for the year and not only see this comedy show, but see other shows that they put on for the members throughout the year for 2026. So, yeah, so come see Scotty G and Craig Baxter at the Franklin VFW this Saturday, January 3rd. Starting somewhere around 8:30. They're just going to, rough start based on people arriving and getting settled. So it's going to be a great show. A lot of my new jokes, I think all my new jokes, except maybe one, worked at the Penn State show. So let's, I wrote a couple new ones for this show. So we're ready to rock and roll, baby. All right. So that's the events that are happening. I know my pod spot is about comedy, sports, and movies, but I've been focused on a lot of sports because of my New York Giants. And I waited a couple days to record this pod spot because I had to calm down. I'm just getting angry at the bloodbath my New York Giants have been taking in the media. Jackson Dart has a couple of not great games, okay? Does everyone forget Eli Manning? The one game against the Vikings, he had 5 interceptions. All right. Would you guys not want Eli Manning as your quarterback, who owns, I believe, all or almost all of the Giants' passing records and gave us 2 of the most memorable Super Bowl runs in team history and defeated the 16-0 New England Patriots to knock them out of an undefeated record? Really? Would you not want Eli? So, okay, what athlete doesn't have a bad game? So a couple bad games, comes back, wins against the Raiders, played a solid game. The team played maybe one of their most complete games of the season in all 3 phases. And then they get crucified for winning a game over a draft pick, which I said on my last pod spot. Go back and watch the last one so I don't have to be redundant about all the overall number 1 picks. I gave a sample size of all the overall number 1 draft picks that were busts. Didn't amount to anything, okay? And then we have, how about all those draft picks that came hundreds of picks into the draft, like Joe Montana and Tom Brady, who went on to be Hall of Famers and win multiple Super Bowls and lead their franchise for years. Would you not want them? How about Cam Scatterbo, 4th round pick? Would you not want Cam Scatterbo on your team? He could be like, I got to go back here just to double check my, 4th round pick. I was right. So, my point is, so now we have the number 2 overall pick, right? And if we win again, I hope we beat Dallas. I hope we go 4-13. All right, I hope the Giants win. I pull for my Giants. I want them to win this weekend. I want them to beat Dallas. Worst case, we drop to number 7. Oh, what a travesty. We still have a top 10 pick. And oh, by the way, if that means no one wants to trade with us to give us more picks, we still get a top 7 pick. And we got Malik Neighbors coming back, who's missed 13 games this year. And Cab Scatterbo coming back, who's missed 11. That's like getting 3 first-round picks next year. Oh, and how about Micah McFadden, who was really playing well as one of our linebackers last year, and this year went down early with an injury too, coming back next year. All right, so by the way, we have 20 guys on injured reserve right now. That's killing me. We've had more than that throughout the year because some were designated to return. I said it on my last pod spot. I don't know what it is about us. We seem to have 20 plus players on IR every year. My whole Six Sigma mindset wants me to do this analysis on the Giants, their processes and their strength training and everything we're doing to see why is it we get so many injuries. It's been happening for over a decade, and it boggles my mind. Okay, but let's get back to everyone crucifying Joe Schoen. All right, saying that he shouldn't be back as the GM, and it's been awful. Okay, I looked back. And we're going to turn the camera this way a little bit so I can go to my computer because my memory is not as great as it used to be. Still pretty good. But here, look at the totals here. All right. 2022 draft, right? 11 players. 9 are still on the roster. 3 are on IR. 9 are on the roster. 2 are 5th and 6th round picks, no longer in football. All right. 2023 draft, 7 players. Okay, 4 are on the roster, 3 aren't, but they were the 6th and 7th round picks. 2 are out of football, and 1 is on the Packers on IR. All right, 2024, all 6 players still on the roster, 2 on IR, but all on the roster. 2025 draft, all 7 on the roster, 2 on IR. So basically, in the 4 drafts that Joe Schoen has done, all right, 26 players are still on the roster, 5 aren't. That's an awful track record, that, right? Oh my God, what a travesty. Only 26 of 31 players drafted over 4 years are still on the roster. And a lot of them are performing well. All right, I don't know what it is about our Giants fans. They all expect someone to pop up and as a rookie and just be the next Lawrence Taylor, right? Come up there and just kill it in their rookie year. It takes time for some players to get used to the transition from college to the NFL. It's killing me. So here, 2022 draft. Kayvon Thibodeau on IR now, but he's had a really good year. I know everyone, Evan Neal has not lived up to potential. Great, but Wan'Dale Robinson, I think he's only second Giant receiver to have 90-plus receptions, more than 1 year, 2 years of 90-plus receptions, hit 1,000 yards last week. Jaz Azudu is on IR, designated to return, still playing. Cordell Flott's been solid in the secondary. Daniel Bellinger has been a decent tight end. Dane Belton's playing in the secondary still. Had a great interception against the Raiders. You look at this, Micah McFadden, all right? Davidson and McFadden are on IR, all right? But McFadden, again, playing really well with starting linebacker, all right? And he was, by the way, a 5th-round pick. All right, go to 2023 draft with 4 players still on the roster. I think Eric Gray, he was a beast in college. He was a good running back. He was behind Saquon. Then he was behind Tyrone Tracy and now Scatterbo. He just hasn't really had a chance to play. John Michael Smith, starting center. Deontay Banks had a rough start. But hey, look at that, 95-yard kickoff return. I can't remember the last time we had a kickoff return for a TD and made some solid plays in that Raiders game. So maybe he's finally coming around, all right, in his 3rd season. Jalen Hyatt, I really had high hopes for him. I don't know what's happened with Jalen. He's okay, so I've gone 2022 of all the draft picks. 1, Evan Neal, really could say hasn't been panned out. Jalen Hyatt hasn't really panned out, okay? Both still on the roster. Let's go to 2024. Neighbors, great rookie year. Unfortunately, gets hurt, but it's like next year getting another number one pick back. Drew Phillips has been solid. I love this tackling and his hits in the secondary. Tyler Nubin, too. He's been playing pretty solid. Theo Johnson, his easy drops kind of frustrate me. He's made some really tough catches, still developing. Tyrone Tracy, would have been our starting back all year if Scadaboo didn't break out, but Tyrone has played really well the last few weeks. And, Darius Muasau, if I pronounce that correctly, is still on the roster playing for us. And how about this year's draft? Abdul Carter, okay? Again, everyone expects someone to be the next Lawrence Taylor out of the gate. He has had a lot of pressures all year and finally starting to get some sacks. Look at that. He blew up that play for the 10-yard loss on the reverse against the Raiders last week. I can't remember the last time I've seen a Giants linebacker do that, blow up a play like that. And again, he's getting sacks, now finally getting sacks. But hey, he is number 2 all-time for rookies in quarterback pressures. The NFL only started tracking that stat in 2017, all right? But still, he just passed Micah Parsons. Now, Micah Parsons is 3rd. What Giant fan wouldn't... I was mad we didn't draft Micah Parsons back when in his draft. I forget what year that was. I wanted Micah Parsons so bad. Then I wanted Abdul Carter this year. We finally, made that pick. I love it. And he's already passed Parsons, and if he gets 9 pressures in the last game of the year, he ties for the all-time record of rookie quarterback pressures. 10, he passes it. So, he has not been a bust. Abdul Carter is finally starting to get it together in the end of his rookie year. Jackson Dart, I can't believe people are, for a couple of games, are just killing him. Maybe he's not the answer. He's got stats comparable in his rookie season to Eli Manning, to Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they were showing how he was comparable to Patrick Mahomes. Who wouldn't want those guys in their youth being a Giants quarterback? Really? And, oh my God, someone on Facebook, one of the Giants feeds, compared Jackson Dart to Eli Manning's first rookie year, and showed Jackson Dart was comparable or better in a lot of the statistics. By the way, the Jackson Dart that broke all of our beloved Eli Manning's records at Ole Miss, right? And someone gets on Facebook and says, this is ridiculous that we're comparing Jackson Dart to a rookie quarterback from 21 years ago. Are you kidding me? That's what we do in sports. We compare them to the players that have come before them. I can't believe the guy actually had the balls to post that it's ridiculous for comparing him to Eli Manning's rookie year. Seriously? I don't know if that's that guy's first day reading about or watching sports or following sports, but all that popped into my head were 2 of my favorite sayings. Haters are going to hate, and you can't fix stupid. That's all I'm going to say about that one. Then we got, Cam Scadabo. Darius Alexander has some good games, got some sacks. I think he's going to be a good defensive lineman going forward. We love Scadabo. Steal in the 4th round. Okay, Marcus Mabo, I think he looks like a beast, and he's going to be a serviceable lineman for us for years to come. Thomas Radone's on IR. Haven't seen him do a lot this year because he's on IR, but he has had I have hope for him. And Corey Black, who we lost to the Jets, is now back and playing due to the injuries. So all 13 players drafted in 24 and 25 are still on the roster, and the majority of them are playing or starting. So Joe Schoen, he signed Bobby Okereke, who going into mid-October was the only player I read in the NFL that didn't have a single missed tackle so far in 2025. And he's one of the league leaders in tackles. He's got 137 tackles with 1 week to go, 75 solo. He had that interception against the Raiders. He still has a sack. He is just, Bobby Okereke, I love him. He's been a very good linebacker for us. And Shane orchestrated the trade for Brian Burns. Who would not want Brian Burns right now, our leading sacker, second in the NFL to Myles Garrett? Okay, Burns having a killer year, and he's not just a sacker. Burns is an all-around player. So look at some of the free agent signings Shane has done. Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston this year. I had said on my previous pod spot that Russell Wilson, lost the eye of the tiger like Rocky did in Rocky 3. Still, Russell Wilson, Hall of Fame quarterback, Super Bowl champion, incredible football knowledge. Jameis Winston played 2 great games when Dart was hurt. Those guys, having them in the locker room and coaching up Jackson Dart, besides the coaching staff, I think is invaluable to Jackson Dart's development. Those are 2 outstanding quarterback minds to have in the locker room. Shane brought on Devin Singletary, who has had some good games since Scatterbo went down. Reliable. I haven't seen him fumble all year. How about the offensive line? I have been saying since Super Bowl 46, when we beat the Patriots the second time, that our offensive line was getting old. I think if we had fixed the offensive line or groomed replacements back then, Eli would have won more than 2 Super Bowls. In fact, I don't want to open this old wound. Our 2008 team was better than the 2007 team until Plaxico accidentally shot himself and went down. I think we would have won back-to-back Super Bowls if Plaxico doesn't shoot himself. As soon as he was out and we didn't have that deep threat, they were able to double team our other receivers, and our offense wasn't the same. But what did we do? What did the free agent signing Shane had? Jermaine Illuminor, even though he's had a couple of games with penalties, including a couple false starts against the Raiders and a rough game against the Saints that were killing me, he's been serviceable. And James Hudson has been a backup for us. John Runyon Jr., Dad must be really pissed as an ex-Eagle. He's playing on the Giants. We've had him and Greg Van Roten starting. Aaron Schlottman has filled in serviceably for Jean-Michael Schmitz when he's been injured. So we have signed some, which, again, if we had re-signed Saquon, don't get me wrong, I love Saquon, but how many years did Saquon underperform or not perform up to his potential because our offensive line was not solid? We use that money to sign these guys that are now, me in the parking lot tailgating at games. This is the first year in like a decade I can remember no one in my tailgating group complaining about our offensive line. Okay, this is the first time our quarterbacks have had time to pass and to look for multiple options when they're dropping back to pass. So the offensive line has been much more serviceable this year. Not saying it can't be better, but it has been better than prior years. All right. And I just love saying Nacho. We signed Nunez Roches. Again, I talked about we traded for Burns. He signed Okereke. So we've had some good free agent signings also. And we got, if I just read today or heard that we have, I think, $43 million in cap space, and we can free up a lot more if we restructure some contracts for this offseason. So I don't think Shane has done a bad job. Like I said, haters are going to hate. I am much more, this is the most positive I've been about any 3-13, and I'm hoping 4-13 team after we beat the Cowboys this weekend. When this whole thing about, rebuilding takes time. It takes 3 to 5 years, I believe, to really rebuild an NFL team. And I think we got lucky in Dable's first year going to the playoffs. Maybe it's based on our schedule was a little bit weaker. We did make it and have a playoff win. But if you let's look at the stats from that year. Going back this year, all right, let me set the baseline. This year, our offense has had 4 games with 30 points or more with 1 to go. Okay, granted. So we've only got 16 of our 17 games in. 4 games of 30 points or more, 11 games of 20 points or more. Obviously, that includes those 4 30-pointers. But you can think about that. 20-point games or more, 11, 4 of those over 30. Let's go back to last year, 2024. We had 5 games over 20, 6 less. Only 1 game over 30, 3 less. 2022, 7 games over 20 points. That's 4 less. Only 2 games over 30. All right? Go back to 2022, last time he made the playoffs and won a playoff game. Okay? We did have 12 games over 20 points, one more than this year. But again, we have one more game left. I believe we're going to score more than 20 points and tie that. 13 games if you had the Vikings playoff game. But that season, we only had one game over 30 points, 2 if you count the playoff game. So our offense has been more productive this year than it has been the last 3 years since Joe Schoen took over as the general manager. We are on an upward trajectory. We have a solid core of young players who are getting valuable experience. Like how many times growing up can I remember the rookies sat there for a year or two, and then they made the rookie mistakes in their third or fourth year. We got young guys making their rookie mistakes now in their first and second year, getting invaluable NFL experience that is going to benefit us going forward. I can't wait till next year. And again, I'm so I get so disappointed in my fellow Giant fans, the lukewarm fans that are not showing up to games and they're trying to sell club seats in my section for $25 a seat. Those are like $400 to $500 tickets. Are you kidding? And no one's buying them either. That's the other disappointing thing. I made every Giant home game this year except 3. And I'm driving 7 hours each way. I'm driving 14 hours a weekend to go to a Giants game. I missed the San Francisco game because I'm also on the board of the March of Dimes for 20 plus years. Our big annual charity event was that weekend of the 49ers game. So I only didn't go because I was on the committee for that charity event. I had to be at that charity event. I didn't go to the second Commanders game, Washington game, or Redskins. I think they're going back to the Redskins. I hope they are. Couldn't have been there for the Commanders game. So it was my son's birthday. Okay, shoot me for putting family first. And this game, weekend against Dallas, I said at the beginning of the pot spot, I got a show late Saturday night in Franklin, PA at the VFW. I got to work and make money and pay the bills as a comedian. So I got a show, like it's going to be difficult to be done with the show at 10 or 11 at night and drive 7 hours across the state in New Jersey for a game at 1 o'clock on Sunday. So I made every game except 3 that I had conflicts. And I know people 20 minutes away in New Jersey that are skipping the games just because we're losing. The true fans are going to the games, and the true fans support the team through thick and thin. And hopefully the true fans are looking at the statistics. I know 3-13, hopefully 4-13. I know it feels awful. All right. It feels awful. I know Bill Parcells says you are what your record says you are. Okay. I still think we are in the upward trajectory as an organization. I've recommend Charlie Bullen since he took over for Shane Bowen. The other thing that happened this year on our 4-13 team, we are the team that's blown the most 10-plus point leads, 5 of them. If we hold on to those games, okay, we are 8-8 right now going in. Grant, that still wouldn't make the playoffs, but we're a 500 team going into the last game with the potential for 9-8. So that feels a lot different. I believe 2026 is going to be a good year for the Giants. In the depths of my soul, I believe that. And I just wish I had more Giant fans that were loyal, that, not the fair weather fans crucifying everything and not looking at the facts. I'm trying to give you the facts on this pod spot. Number of players that Joe Schoen has drafted, they're still on the team and starting. The fact that our offense is performing the best it has under this regime in the last 4 years. Okay, the fact that he's made some solid moves like, Brian Burns and Bobby Okereke, and signing some offensive linemen that have made our offensive line the best it's been in a decade. All right, so, Giant fans, stay positive. I want to keep these to 10 minutes or less, and I'm pushing 24 minutes. So I get all fired up about this. Man, I get fired up about people picking on my Giants without, looking at the facts. All right. So anyway, hey, Merry New Year and Happy Christmas. Hey, Trading Places. I think I'm going to watch that tonight. It's beef jerky time. Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, Trading Places. Hey, Merry New Year. Beef jerky time for Scotti G. All right. We're going to be over and out here. Again, thank you to Blind Tiger Spirit Cocktails, the Scotti G's Pod Spot, Scotty G Pod Spot sponsor. We'll see you in 2026 with another round, and I'm finally going to bring the guests on board. Hopefully, my son Nicky G for the first 2026 Pod Spot. So, hey, be safe, be merry, be happy. Scotty G out.